Retro Gamer is an honest-to-goodness physical magazine that caters to the retro gaming community. But is it worth your time and money? What I want you to take away from this analysis, if you take anything away, is to understand that Retro Gamer is meant for as mass a market as possible within the overall retro gaming and to a lesser extent retro tech community. Depending on your perspective, this is either great because this is the type of thing you're looking for, or not so great because what you want is in-depth articles on very specific subject matter that you are interested in. We'll start from the surface level. The page and print quality is high grade and honestly what you'd expect from a professionally printed product of this type. The covers are glossy and on occasion feature cool shiny relief accents like on these two issues right here. What you'll notice in my collection is fairly stark and text-free covers, in general having a pretty clear sole focus. That is because subscribers get a special cover which usually looks less busy than the one you'd find for sale normally. On the other hand, I'm not sure you can find the magazine on the street outside the UK, so if you live anywhere else and want it, you'll most likely need to subscribe in order to get it. Subscribing is an important part of the experience, seeing as how you'll get each issue at a lower price when it comes to the physical issue, because you can also get the magazine in digital format. Prices overall aren't super stable at the time of recording this video, but this is what they are in April of 2023. Are its contents worth the price though? The magazine offers a variety of article formats. There are some quick, super short ones focusing mostly on the writer's nostalgic memories of the game at hand. There's top lists, always a popular format regardless of medium. There's also a few pages dedicated to retro community spotlights with entries from the magazine's readers, and then there's the multi-page deeper dives into titles, series or tech that have a certain amount of reputation within one or more gaming communities. One of these latter ones will generally be the featured image on the cover. There's also flashback type articles which look back at what was in the industry news 20-ish years ago, and those are always fun to read and can spark not only all manner of memories but also ideas about what to play or replay next. Okay, so now we get to the meat of the magazine. Packaging and looks are all fine and good, but what are the articles like? How well or not well written are they? The Retro Gamer uses a scattergun approach to try and cater to as many parts of the overall retro gaming community as possible. And I feel that is something you kinda need to do if you want to have even a modicum of success in the physical world. On YouTube, generally the opposite seems to work, but even in this case, addressing as wide an audience as possible within any given niche is usually best. The advantages of this strategy are that you can touch on and address a diverse array of communities in each issue, thus exposing your product to more eyeballs than if you were to focus only on one time period, platform or video game genre. The disadvantages lie in how surface level your coverage tends to be, since you cannot dedicate a lot of real estate to the same subject. Of course, I'm not talking about the in-depth articles that usually tend to feature interviews with original developers, which can indeed be a really great source of information you might not find as easily or as quickly if you were to search the net. But those special multi-page articles are only a few per issue, and even then, they tend to not go into a lot of nitty-gritty detail, even if they do offer a much better impression of what is being discussed. So, who is Retro Gamer for? Retro Gamer is a great magazine for me, but it might not be for you. It's all down to what you're looking for. I'm looking to fill my numerous knowledge gaps relating to several areas of gaming history, consoles being a large chunk of them, but the magazine has offered a fair bit of insight into parts of gaming history I only knew pieces of, such as the history related to the Spectrum ZX. Retro Gamer is a great magazine if you're looking for exactly what it offers, lots of diverse bits and pieces of information. And I'm not gonna lie, I will use it in the future as a source of ideas for some upcoming videos, especially related to the Spectrum ZX. It can be a great jumping off point for further research and investigation, especially for those who may be younger than their 30s and who are interested in the history of gaming overall. Likewise, I think it can be great for lapsed gamers who spent the past 10 to 15 years or more not gaming and now they're back, but all this new stuff isn't particularly attractive and they kinda wanna pick up where they left off. But on the other hand, if you're my age or older, late 30s as of the time of recording this, and have constantly been into gaming and or collecting, especially on the console side of things, then retro gamer might be too old hat or too superficial for you, and you might need to either look somewhere else or start your own fanzine and hit me up if you need coverage about PC gaming. So how about some examples of informative articles I found in the issues I have read up until now? Well, I consider myself lucky to have started with the issue that featured the history of the Spectrum ZX, my first ever gaming platform. Not only that, but also one of my first ever conscious memories as well. And it was absolutely wonderful to read what had happened before I was using one, and super surprised to find out the platform still had a story after I had stopped using it, and people are still developing games for it well into the present. Then there's the deep dive into the Wipeout series, of which I had no idea existed since it was a console thing. In another issue, I found out there was a Krull arcade game, which was a pleasant surprising as how much I love that movie. Then there's the issue dedicated to the Commodore 64, something I again never had direct access to, but undoubtedly a big chunk of home gaming and computing in general has to be attributed to it, as well as the Spectrum microcomputers. And most relevant and important for me, there is this great multi-page article featuring some super interesting interviews with developers about none other than Heroes of Might and Magic 2. And in case you don't know how much I love that game, then you might want to check out my video on it. Those are only a few of the several things I found of interest in Retro Gamer, and I'll continue being a subscriber for the foreseeable future. Despite my activity as a digital content creator, geek culture analyst, I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't love the opportunity to write for an actual ink and paper magazine. I'm old enough to have a particular attachment to the printed word, and while digital obviously has many benefits and advantages over it, I would still much rather sit up on my couch with physical reading material in my hands than a tablet. Getting Retro Gamer is something I started doing last year as part of my growing interest and eventual channel pivot towards older games of my youth, and I think this video fits in well within that particular domain, even if it isn't the sort of video I usually make. Also, despite how much I talked about their subscription model, I assure you this video was not sponsored by Retro Gamer, but hey, if you're watching this, hit me up. Thanks for watching. You might be interested in the video linked on the screen right now. I've been Steve Fransons, I have a Patreon, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.